is what is the administration's assessment of the risk of nuclear escalation? Not share this information with you?
Well, no, again, sir,
Israel have nuclear weapons.
I'm not
You're not prepared to comment on it? It's a very basic question.
specific question. I'd have to refer you to the Israelis on that.
Does that mean you don't know?
Now recognize the representative from Texas, Mr. Castro.
Thank you, Chairman. Undersecretary Giuliano, I wanted to follow up on some questions that Representative Snyder asked. This war has a nuclear dimension that we have to address and that the committee and the Congress can't avoid. In the first week of the war, the United States and Israel struck Iran's nuclear enrichment facility at Natanz. Last week, Iran claimed that a projectile hit a structure about 1,000 feet from Iran's nuclear power plant at Bushehr. The IAEA Director General called it, quote, the reddest line of nuclear safety. And just a few days ago, Iranian ballistic missiles struck the city of Dimona, injuring more than 180 people, penetrating Israeli air defenses near Israel's main nuclear research facility for the first time. Iran said explicitly it was targeting the Negev Nuclear Research Center in retaliation for Natanz. And yesterday, Iran claimed that their nuclear power facility at Bushehr was hit again. Nuclear facilities on both sides have been targeted. That's where we are in this war, and that's how far it's escalated. If a nuclear reactor like Bushehr were hit, there's a significant risk of a meltdown and release of extremely dangerous radioactive materials that would affect all countries in the region, and, of course, millions of people, including Americans and American service members. You are the main government official overseeing nonproliferation and arms control for the United States government. If there were a nuclear emergency, you would play a leading role in the international diplomacy to address that emergency. My question to you is, what is the administration's assessment of the risk of nuclear escalation or radiological disaster in this war? And what steps is the United States taking to prevent it?
Thank you, Congressman. As I answered earlier, those operational questions specific to the theater of operations would rest with Admiral Cooper. I will tell you that all resources inside the Nonproliferation Bureau would be made available and are available should they warrant it. I've had conversations with my colleagues in the War Department specifically to this issue, and operationally the War Department would address the type of things that you're getting at.
And I appreciate that, but I mean, you're the main person in the government in charge of nonproliferation and overseeing nuclear weapons. Do they not share this information with you?
Well, no, again, sir,
I know you said they're responsible for generating it, but do they share it with you? Can you share it with us?
in the current situation, Admiral Cooper would be the decision maker on how that would be any hypothetical situation would be addressed. They have the resources, and again, I had this conversation with my counterpart at the War Department to let them know that the nonproliferation experts would be available should.
Well, let me ask you a follow-up question.
need
The
it.
United States is currently engaged in a major war against Iran, of course, a war that clearly already has nuclear consequences. And I don't believe that you've adequately addressed the nuclear risks here. So let's take a step back and establish some basic facts. The administration has said that Iran is or was close to developing nuclear weapons, but they haven't discussed what Israel's capacity or capabilities are. So I want to ask you, does Israel have nuclear weapons?
I'm not prepared to comment on that.
You're not prepared to comment on it? It's a very basic question. We are with an ally conducting a war against Iran. We all know what American capabilities are. The US government has spoken about what Iran's capabilities are. Can you tell us what Israel's capabilities are? The consequences, as you know, are grave. This war continues to escalate. Tell us something, as Congress, as the oversight body, what is Israel's nuclear capability in terms of weapons?
I can't comment on that specific question. I'd have to refer you to the Israelis on that.
Does that mean you don't know?
I can't comment on that, sir.
Undersecretary, you're the main person in charge of knowing this and understanding it. Will you not give us an answer? I don't understand why this issue is so taboo when it's a basic question and we're in a war alongside Israel against Iran. We're dealing with the potential for nuclear fallout, and you won't answer this basic question.
Well, again, it would be outside of my purview as the Arms Control and Non-Proliferation Undersecretary to discuss that specific question.
Sir, that is a dereliction of duty. I yield back.
Mr. Secretary, I'll help you with that. The official Israeli position is they neither confirm nor deny any existence of nuclear weapons. Now recognize the representative from Florida, Mr. Mills.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much for being here, Undersecretary. Can you tell me what your involvement is or your oversight of the Director of Defense Trade Controls of DDTC?
Yes, thank you. So DDTC is the licensing office that rests in the Political Military Bureau, which would be under my purview.
And it is my understanding a few years back when they brought in the DDTC hotline that this was to try and ensure that the processing of DSP-83s, DSP-5s, and other such paperwork was going to actually be done in an expedited manner to guarantee that we can meet the challenges or the requirements that are necessary in supporting American business, but also helping with security cooperations around the globe. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't have a reason to dispute that. I could comment on it, but go ahead, sir.
So the reason I bring that up is prior to coming into Congress, obviously I had served as a U.S. Army combat veteran. I'd served with the State Department, and I had also helped with other agencies as well as was part of the administration previously. But I owned a defense company and know very well kind of the ins and outs of how DDTC handles things. And what I watched is that American businesses, and I hear this, you know, obviously as a member of the Armed Services Committee, I hear many times where there's either a continuation of RWAs, which is returned without actions after 6 months of sitting with no reasoning justification, or it sits for a year to 18 months while either the terrorist organization continues to thrive, grow, or in some cases, the country who actually needs the certain defense mechanisms never received them. What are we doing to improve DDTC to guarantee the necessary licensing can come forward and that American businesses and other nations are able to defend themselves?